Today is not the day to make excuses for anybody. If the 49ers want to take over the NFC, every tiny detail has to turn into an advantage. Raheem Morris already hinted this defense could show opponents different faces. There is an explosive running back possibility floating around. Brock Purdy just got a very direct message about the pocket. And the wide receiver room has turned into a real fight for snaps. This feels like an actual adjustment coming out of Santa Clara, not some lazy off-season chatter. Hit that like button right now and stay with me, because today's script is going straight at the spots that hurt and the places where this roster can become truly dangerous. The first hit comes on defense, and I'm going to say it straight. The 49ers did not bring in Raheem Morris just to paint the same wall with a different color. With Robert Saleh, everybody understood the picture. Four-man front, discipline, speed, players attacking without overthinking. Saleh has a crystal-clear identity, and that absolutely matters, but the NFL adjusts. Offenses spend months studying tendencies, protections, alignments, and automatic answers. When the opponent knows exactly where the pressure usually comes from, they do not have to guess. They just have to execute. Morris comes in with a different background. He said this team has been a four-down rush team, that it has done that well, and he showed respect for Saleh. But then he opened the door. Washington with Jim Haslett. A 3-4 base with that Pittsburgh-style DNA. Different stops, different ideas. Four-man fronts, five-man fronts, mixes. Translation for the fan base. He does not want to throw away what already works, but he also does not want to be locked inside one answer. And for a roster still built like the 49ers, that is the right balance. This is not ripping up the playbook. This is hiding more pages from the opponent. The base probably stays as a four-man front, because that fits San Francisco's personnel. You do not take a defense built for years around strong linemen attacking up front and flip the entire thing overnight. But the difference is the poison. Morris sounds more willing to put 5 on the line, show 3-4 looks, change the angle of the edge rusher, mess with the quarterback's eyes, and force the protection to communicate before the snap. And that is where Romello height matters, because he did a lot of his pass rushing standing up. If the team wants to unlock that type of player, it needs looks that make the offense hesitate. Now, there is a cost. A multiple defense can be a nightmare for the other team, but it can also get messy if your own defenders are not processing it fast. Saleh was willing to be more predictable because his players played loose, fast, and with very little doubt. Morris can bring more explosion, more traps, and more change-ups within a series and within a game. But if the communication breaks, the damage shows up in one massive play. So the aggressive question in Santa Clara is not whether the idea sounds good. It is whether this roster is smart and versatile enough to bite without leaving itself exposed. And I like the bet, because contenders do not survive on comfort. If the 49ers want to bring that fear back, this defense has to stop being solid on paper and start being annoying on every single snap. Morris has pieces, he has history, he has range. Now he has to prove that all this multiplicity adds pressure instead of slowing the defense down. Now hold on, because the second story is not about a basic need. This is about championship greed. Alvin Kamara is still in New Orleans, but speculation around his name is back because his contract reportedly enters its final year, and the arrival of Travis Etienne puts an obvious shadow over his role in the Saints' offense. And when a player with that kind of talent starts appearing in fit conversations, San Francisco cannot act like it is too good to make a call. The 49ers already have Christian McCaffrey, and that is exactly why the idea gets dangerous. Surface-level fans say, why would they need another running back? People who understand a title window say, so you do not grind your most important offensive weapon down before January. McCaffrey is a complete weapon, but this franchise knows the cost of depending too much on special bodies. Jordan James, Isaac Guerendo, and Kalen Black can fight for space, develop, and bring energy. But Kamara is a different kind of problem for a defense. He is not just coming in to carry the ball. He comes in to punish linebackers inside, catch the ball in the flat, turn third down into torture, and force the opposing coordinator to defend the whole field. And just imagine Shanahan with McCaffrey and Kamara in the same package. It does not even have to be every snap. Sometimes just showing it is enough. The offense wrecks the defensive meeting before the ball is even snapped. Who follows McCaffrey? Who walks out with Kamara? Does the safety come down? Does the linebacker widen? And while the defense is trying to answer, George Kittle is sitting in the middle. Brock Purdy is reading leverage, and one simple motion can expose the opponent's entire plan. That is not video game football. That is stress football. That is putting intelligence, versatility, and fear in the same formation. Of course, the conversation only gets serious if New Orleans actually listens to offers, and the price does not get ridiculous. Kamara would not be a 5-year build, he would be a knife for right now. A move for a team staring at the conference and saying, enough saving creativity when the trophy is on the table. If the opportunity opens, John Lynch has to measure the cost, salary, health, role, and compensation. But ignoring it? No chance. A contender that wants to be treated like a favorite cannot pretend an elite weapon does not matter. And now the conversation moves away from the shine of a possible weapon and goes straight to the one place where nothing can hide, the quarterback's pocket. Clay Kubiak talked about Brock Purdy, and the area he picked was not arm strength, not personality, not command of the locker room. It was pocket movement. And that is heavy, because when a coordinator puts that on the table, he is saying this offense is still letting live plays die too early. Purdy is athletic, competitive, tough, and nobody here is going to pretend he has not saved broken plays with his legs. But there is a thin line between creating and escaping. At several points last season, he looked like he left pockets too early when the structure was still there. The play was developing. The read could have opened. The check down was there. Shanahan's concept had an answer. But Purdy looked for the big play, felt the chaos coming, escaped to the side, and turned a clean opportunity into a pressured improv snap. Sometimes it works. In January, that habit can end a run. Kubiak's message hits the exact point. He said Brock can make plays with his feet, but maybe he is missing a better chance downfield because he decided to run or move a certain way. That is the real challenge. This is not about turning Purdy into a statue in the pocket. That would be foolish. You do not take away his instincts. The goal is to teach his body to move inside the pocket. Step up, slide, find throwing lanes, reset the base, attack the right spot. Good movement is not just running away. Good movement is making the defense wrong while the quarterback stays ready to throw. And the fan base needs to understand something. Shanahan does not design a simple offense. This system has built-in answers. It has checkdowns, it has progressions, it has timing details. It creates space with routes that do not always get the ball. When Purdy leaves early, he shrinks the menu. He takes a test with multiple right answers and reacts on impulse. That increases time with the ball. It increases pressure. It increases hits. It increases the chance of mistakes. The good news is this can be trained. Purdy has already shown enough processing, accuracy, and courage to level up. But if he wants to shut down every ceiling conversation, he has to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Standing in the pocket is not pretty. It is dirty. It is heavy shoulders, traffic in your face, trust in your tackle, and faith in the progression. But that is where contender quarterbacks grow. If Brock cleans up this detail, the offense does not just become explosive, it becomes ruthless. And to close out the news, let's go to the wide receiver room, because there is no space here for cheap sentiment. If this depth chart projection is on the right path, San Francisco is attacking one of the most sensitive parts of the offense with a heavy hand. Mike Evans as WR1, Ricky Pearsall trying to hold major value, Christian Kirk coming in as an important veteran, Dejon Stribling entering as a first-round pick, Demarcus Robinson trying to survive off experience and contract value, and Jacob Cowing fighting for real utility. This is not just depth. This is a fight for identity. Mike Evans at the top changes the conversation right away. A target with that size, history, physical presence, and defensive respect does not arrive to be decoration. He comes in to win on the boundary, win contested balls, open space for the rest of the offense, and give Brock Purdy a target who does not need to be wide open by 3 yards to get the ball. For a team chasing championship pressure, that kind of WR1 has massive value. He does not ask the secondary for permission. He forces the secondary to adjust. But the part that really starts heating up is Pearsall. The 49ers spent a first-round pick on him in 2024, and at some point potential has to become weekly presence. He has had important moments when healthy. He has flashed. He has shown real quality. But the league does not wait for anybody to get comfortable. If Evans is the heavy name and Kirk arrives as the reliable veteran, Pearsall has to prove he is not just a promise protected by draft investment. He has to take the job, attack the field, earn Purdy's trust, and turn snaps into production. Because on a contender roster, pedigree opens the door, performance keeps the chair. Kirk can also mess with the math. He is not coming in to make empty noise. He can work inside, help on rhythm routes, create short area separation, give answers on third down, and push Demarcus Robinson down the line. Robinson, meanwhile, still has a reason to stick around. Guaranteed money and experience. Even after a mostly quiet season, outside of that huge wildcard game against Philadelphia, contract and staff trust usually matter when final cuts get tight. Then comes Dejon Stribling, and he is the kind of rookie who might not explode in week 1, but could change the picture as the season goes on. He arrives with talent, but there is heavy traffic in front of him. To earn a role early, he has to learn fast, block with attitude, avoid alignment mistakes, and prove he can be more than a project. A rookie who wants to play in San Francisco has to show maturity before asking for targets. And at the bottom of the roster, the fight could get brutal. Cowing against Jordan Watkins, with Junior Bergen and Malik Turner trying to stay alive. Cowing may have the edge if the team needs a returner, especially after Sky Moore's exit from that role. That special teams detail can decide a career. So tell me in the comments, would you build that top 6 with Cowing because of the return value? Or would you give the spot to Watkins if he shows more as a pure receiver? Because that last spot is not some tiny detail. In January, the 6th wide receiver can become the play that changes everything. At the end of the day, today's message is simple and hard. The 49ers are not in some innocent experiment phase. Morris has to turn defensive variety into real punishment. The Kamara idea shows this window still deserves boldness. Purdy has to evolve inside the pocket, because talent without discipline becomes an invitation for pressure. And the wide receiver room has to separate pretty names from reliable players. Santa Clara has pieces, it has ambition, it has pressure. Now it has to turn all of that into dominant Sundays. If you want to follow this fight up close, subscribe, turn on the bell, and come back for the next video, because the season has already started in the details.